Okay, so crossed over the Moldova to Transnistria, which is in Russia, border today, this afternoon. In fact, just about 3/4 of an hour ago, somewhere around there. Now, every border, just in case anybody isn't familiar with borders, every border you have an exit route and you have an entrance route, so therefore there's a middle land of no man's land in effect. It's usually half a mile, it can be a mile long in certain circumstances, but you'll get your passport checked, and when you're leaving a country, it depends which country you're going out of. Quite a few of them are quite strict. They want to make sure that you're not taking anything out, so they make sure that you've got the right paperwork, that it is my motorbike and I'm not stealing it from someone, one thing or another. But in general terms, leaving a country is a bit more laid back than entering one. Okay, so I'm now riding up knowing full well that I've got all sorts of issues coming out my back of my head, because I've got to try and get a visa. I've got to try to persuade them to allow me to stay more than 12 hours. All they do is they give you a 12-hour entrance or exit, a transit pass, that's the right, a transit visa, which basically means that you can just drive through, my instant, riding through Transnistria on the way to Odessa or any part of Ukraine, which is what I'm doing. But I wanted to stay in this place here where I am now. Okay, so my friend who I met, Marshall, he gave me a great tip yesterday and said, listen, when you get to the border, tell them where you're going to stay. Give them the following name, and there's a Russian hotel. It's called the Hotel Russia in Sevastopol, and therefore he said, if you give them that, he said, you say to them, I'm going to sleep there. Tell them that you've booked it. You've got a chance that they're going to give you a 48-hour pass then. But okay, fine. So very calmly now, I arrive at the border, coming out of Moldova. And I'm like really chilled out, because at that stage I'm just leaving Moldova, and if there's going to be any issue whatsoever, I'm just going to turn around and stay in Moldova, and I'm aware that I might not get into Transnistria. So I turn up and I show my passport, and they don't speak any English whatsoever. I mean, seriously, they didn't have a word of English, so I've got to try to describe, I'm doing the old I want to sleep here. Even though she was a girl, it gets a bit worrying, doesn't it? In case she says, what are you trying to say? Anyway, so got the message over that I wanted to stay overnight. But you've got to remember, I'm totally convinced now that this is the first passport control. So I'm actually just booking myself out of Moldova, not booking into. Anyway, long story short, that's not how it happens on this border. And that was the Russian border, and I'm so calm, it's unbelievable. Because I'm expecting all the problems at the other end. So long story short, she gives me paperwork, and then I realised that actually that's it, I'm through, and then you've got to go through customs. So I've now got a 48-hour pass, because she's convinced that I have already booked into the hotel. Sorry, excuse me. Ow. Oh, stinging eyes. So long story short, I then get searched, okay, because I'm now in customs, and they have stripped this bike. They have dipped a petrol to make sure that there's nothing in there, and not just mixed into the fuel itself. They did like a sample type thing, which I don't even know. I don't even know if they have the technology to do that. They took a syringe full of fuel and took it away, and I think that was just to convince me. I don't believe that they've got the stuff to analyse there, whether I'm trying to run on pure vodka or something absolutely crazy. But they had every other gadget that you can imagine, dogs, the whole kit and caboodle. That was as big a search as I've had since I've been away this time. And just because I was up until then I was really relaxed and really quite laid back and all the rest of it, I suddenly realised, oh no, this is actually getting into it. One of the security guys there, the border control fellas, did speak a little bit of English, and he obviously could see that I was like getting a bit cheesed off. It was boiling hot. I wasn't going to kick off, but I was getting hot and flustered, and you know, take your jacket off, what have you got underneath your trousers, and oh, you name it, you know, like if I'd said I'd had a pair of jeans on, then the bike trousers would have had to come off as well. I mean, it's just, you know, anyway, it doesn't matter. It happened. So he could see that I was getting hot and bothered and everything, and he then explained to me, if you think this is a problem, you wait until you're leaving here into Ukraine. And I went, really? And he went, oh yes, that's when your problems start. And Ukraine, I have already been forewarned, it's got a major recession. It's not the coolest place to be, but nor is this place. This is very, very, very sparky, very, yeah, as I say, out my comfort zone to a large extent. Anyway, here I am. Next video will be me getting into the hotel, which I've now hopefully got sorted out, and chatting to you about Transnistria.